Hi there, I am Sarah Jane Case, and I'm the host of your new favorite show, Enneagram and Coffee. This podcast is dedicated to discussing the beautiful and hard parts of being human. We discuss the Enneagram, a personality map that is taking over the world, for increased self-compassion, personal growth, and healthier relationships. Listen to Enneagram and Coffee on the iHeart app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to Book Talk for Book Talk with Jack and Amy, a literary podcast where we deep dive into the writings of your favorite novels. This winter, we're hosting a book club while we prepare our 10-part literary analysis of Sarah J. Maas's Throne of Glass. This is Jack.
And I'm Amy, and each week we'll discuss one book from our Winter Book Club roster. By using our literary background, we'll provide our flash analysis of each book, as well as discuss listener thoughts.
This is part 2 of this week's episode, where we're discussing Gild by Raven Kennedy. Trigger warning to this episode: if you have read Gild, hopefully you know that there are a lot of depictions of non-consent and assault, which we will be discussing. I want to stick to, I'm kind of hopping all over the place, but I'll actually read another one that people consider a like and a dislike. Wait, no, maybe it's just all dislikes. Hold on. No, yeah, see, someone put the dislike in the like pile. So one of the dislikes, and I agree, but I want to kind of go into why I think it's good.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. The term saddle, and I want you to know, there's a lot of people who have issues with the term saddle. And it's not even so much of the fact that it's degrading towards the women.
Mm-hmm.
It's just cringy for me.
Yeah.
It's just we might be, we're not whores, we're royal saddles. You know what I mean? I it's not even, oh my God, you're debasing them with the term animals. I'm like, saddle?
Yeah.
Couldn't we have done better?
Yeah, I agree. I tried to not think too hard about it. Because it's meant to be degrading.
Yeah.
Right? It is men who give these titles to their concubines, essentially.
Yeah.
I almost would have rather the word concubine, but I don't think that works in this world. Could there have been a different word? Absolutely. Is it degrading to women? Absolutely. It makes sense, though.
Yeah. The word itself is cringy to me. I definitely can see it. In the fact that it's used so much is also cringy to me.
Yeah.
I think that's another complaint that I've seen on here is it's just used a lot.
Yeah.
The point that it's trying to make, I like.
Yeah.
As much as they try to dress up the term as with royal saddles, at the end of the day, they are just still objects to be used by Midas.
Yep.
And any other man he deems okay enough to use them as well.
Right. Yeah, and I think I agree. It was prolifically used, unnecessarily so, maybe, but it makes sense in the setting that we're in the world that we're in, and the character that Midas and these kings are.
Yeah. I want to transition into the sex scenes.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, I love that none of the sex scenes are good, are comfortable, are consensual, are sexy. All of it. The only time you have a quote unquote consensual scene is with Auren and Midas. And even then, and for that one, it doesn't go into detail.
No.
And she doesn't come.
Yep.
Everything else is explicit, especially the last scene with Rissa. I forgot how explicit that was.
It was very explicit. Even the opening scene of the book is explicit. I was shocked at how explicit it was.
Yep.
Anytime the word cunt is used, I like it in sex scenes, but when it's that aggressive and there's no lead up to it, I was like, oh, okay.
We're just dropping the hard C right here, left and right. Okay.
That's right. So, but again, in the context of the world that we're in, it makes sense. And I actually think Raven does a good job with it in making it uncomfortable and unwanted.
Yeah. I don't walk away from it being like, ooh.
Right.
I'll get a little bit of more of
Yeah.
that. I'm just
Yeah.
like, like even in that first scene, Midas dismisses one woman and decides to, have anal sex with another woman and just like
Mhm.
immediately starts.
Mhm.
And once he's done and he finishes, he just dismisses everyone. And
Yep.
like it's described as like even the male saddle, like he's fully erect. Everyone is still
Yeah.
probably like they haven't finished.
Yeah.
And she thinks like maybe they're gonna go back to their quarters and,
Try and finish.
trying to finish. Or maybe they're not, but like it really does a great the scene, as jarring as it is, does a great
Mhm.
job to show just how self-centered and it's only about his pleasure,
Yeah.
and it's uncomfortable. Like
Yeah.
no one here like would want this.
Right. Right. They're doing it cuz they need to provide for themselves or family that they might have. I completely agree. It is the quickest way to tell who are the bad people, right?
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
are the selfish people. Now, should there have been a trigger warning at the top? Probably. I don't
Oh,
think
yeah.
there was, at least not in the
The
audio
audiobook,
version.
no.
There should have been a trigger warning at the top. Nevertheless, the graphic and non-consensual or dubious consent sex scenes serve a purpose,
Yeah,
and they're not excessive in that there's a sex scene every chapter or every other chapter, right? They
yeah.
happen at specific points in time and they serve a purpose in that moment.
Mhm.
And it for me it worked.
It does work for me. All of it leads up to that final assault scene with Rissa,
Mhm.
and I agree. That deserved a trigger warning. I
Yeah.
have read other books that have depicted, I mean, I'm gonna say one book because I just was like, "I don't like reading this." It does not, you know,
Mhm.
your girl can dabble with dubious consent, but, like, once it's,
Mhm.
like, flat out
Assault. Yeah.
assault, I don't like it. And I'm gonna, like, reference, Hunting Adeline, where that one was like, I'm like,
Mhm.
"Nope, too far. Turns out can't handle it." And this is one that I think the reason why I can come back and reread this one versus, like, a Hunting Adeline, where it's like, "Nope, never gonna read that again." I don't like what's happening to Rissa. I think that what Raven does really well is the descriptions of how Rissa tries to, quote, unquote, "meet him on the battlefield," right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Trying to take control of this moment. Now, ultimately, it turns into full-fledged assault, but, like, you still have these women fighting back as much as they can, and it is as uncomfortable. I don't like it. I hate reading these types of scenes. I hate thinking of Rissa crying. I hate all of that stuff, but at the same time, it was done, I don't wanna say it was done well, because again, I hate these types of scenes,
Mhm.
but it was done in a way that I can see the choice that she made, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think what I'm hearing you say is from the point of view of Auren and through Raven's writing, the focus was Rissa and her power because
Yeah.
she is powerful within the realm of sex. She
Mhm.
does have a lot of power and is able to control a lot of situations. And what we see is a breakdown of that power. And she fights as much as she can in a way that she is accustomed to, like you
Yeah.
said, meeting on the battlefield. It is not overly gratuitous in my mind.
Agreed.
The assault is described in enough detail and in enough space so that you know what it's happening, you are uncomfortable, and then Arn does her thing as soon as she can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? We don't dwell. It's not overly
It's
graphic.
not Hunting Adeline where it's chapters upon chapters, yeah.
Right, right.
It's a point where Auren finds her power,
Mhm.
both metaphorically and literally, and it is one of those moments where I think that you can see how Rissa inspires her.
Yeah.
Not just "Oh, she's in trouble, I need to go help," but in
Mhm.
the sense of, "She's strong. Look
Yeah.
what she's doing." She's trying to handle it, like, as a what she calls, they call themselves a professional.
Mhm.
She's trying to do it, like, with the best grace and ability that she can, and I think that that inspires Arwen within itself, and to that, I do like that it's another woman who inspires her.
Yeah. I agree.
It just sucks that a woman has to be assaulted in order to inspire.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope the book has a trigger warning so that people who do choose to read it for book club know.
I have the book at the top, somewhere over there. It's part of the cultural zeitgeist within the romantasy realm.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of the classics
Yeah.
that
People
it
ask about Plated Prisoner series often
since the
enough.
beginning, yeah,
Yeah.
and it is one of those where I am, I don't know, not curious, but it's interesting that I don't see that that discussed enough,
Yeah.
you know? I was just thinking, I'm like, maybe one day we'll do a season, a book club season where it's the second book of
Mm.
the books that we've covered.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah, yeah. So, just to kind of wrap up on that final scene with Rissa,
Mhm.
someone says in the prose, glad that there was some justice towards the end. That's what made me go on to book 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and, like, I love the description of, like, his again, this is what they describe it, his purple cock turning into gold and having that out and everything. I also
Yeah.
discovered recently that King Tut was mummified with an erection.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So, I thought about that a lot as that this was that was playing out.
Yeah. Back to the readers or the listeners' point though. I do think so let's think about this, having just discussed the assault scene.
Yeah.
If the captain got away with it,
Yes.
I could not read the next
Yeah.
book
Yep.
because there's just so many bad people who get away with shit
Yeah.
in this book. And so it is important. And I do appreciate that justice is done. This is how Auren's power is revealed.
Mhm.
She's able to really truly protect Rissa in a way that is not throwing a book at her face.
Yeah.
And not that she protected her, but helped Rissa get vengeance.
Mhm.
I think that that is really necessary in
Yes.
order to conclude this book and say, I'm willing to go to the next.
Because then it turns into now, I only read the first book and a half of Game of Thrones series,
Mhm.
so I'm gonna be referencing more of the TV show. It was exhausting having women used season upon season upon season.
Mhm.
Now, eventually, women were in control. It was like, the 3 queens at the very end all against each other. Then that was cool. However, it was too much to get to that point, and
Mhm.
if this had not happened, it would have turned into, like, that Game of Thrones of, like, "Great, so we're just gonna use women over and over and over."
Yeah.
But I think it's just enough of the gives Auren just enough of that, like, "You're capable,"
Yeah.
to go into the next book,
Yep.
and it was probably no, I don't wanna say I can't remember, and I don't wanna spoil a thing. I can't spoil it because I don't remember. I was gonna say it's probably the first time she used her powers as, like, a defense weapon, but, like, I have no memory of that or not. I
Mhm.
have a general memory of, like, what happened to her as a kid. Anyway, but I mean, it definitely in her adult life after being captured,
Mhm.
it's the first time she fought back
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah. And you needed to see that from her.
Yeah. Yes, we did. Especially with we haven't even talked about the queen.
Mhm.
Which is like, I can see that being another frustrating moment where it's like, God, just another woman who's out here raging, pissed off.
Yeah, but she's mad at her situation and she's mad at Midas, right?
She takes it out on
And
Auren.
she takes it out on Auren. But she is another one that I understand her rage,
Yeah, yeah,
right? That as a woman of royal heritage, just because she didn't present magic, she now is
yeah,
powerless and she's useless and sidelined. And she does say to Midas, I know the truth, which means she knows that Auren is the one with power.
yeah,
She does know that Auren is the one with power, and therefore Auren could be the rightful queen because
yeah,
she's the one with power.
yeah.
So
I hadn't
again,
put that second logic of like, oh shit, you're right. Like Auren could come in and be like, screw you bitches, I'm queen now.
right. So the rivalry there makes sense. Again,
Yeah,
don't love it, but given the context of the world and how the royal line works,
yeah,
it works.
yeah. You know what's also what I do appreciate about this book, and I think is risky. Now, this book was one of the early romantasy books out there. What year was this written? I just remember it being as like one of the first ones, early ACOTAR. 2020. Really?
Really?
It felt longer than that.
Feels much older than that.
Well, that can't be right.
I'm looking. Published 2020.
I could have told you 2016, 20.
Yeah, that's what I was guessing.
It's like coming up to 5 years. I mean,
Oh
next year
yeah.
will be.
The final book just published this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Which like is impressive because it's only been 4 years. And there's like 6 books in the series.
There's 6 books. Yeah.
Maybe that's why it feels. I mean, and that actually confirms the first book was just really long. I mean, not that it confirms, but that's my suspicion.
Mm-hmm.
If she was able to publish it so quickly, I wonder
Yeah.
if like the first 2 books were ready.
Yeah, probably. They might have all been ready. I mean,
Yeah.
it looks like there were 2 books published in 22 and then 2 books in 23, maybe.
Holy crap.
I could be wrong.
I don't even remember where I was going with this. Oh, here we go. I remember now.
Excuse us while we hydrate and you listen to this ad. I know I am guilty of avoiding shaving my legs during the winter, but some of us still need to groom, and that includes the men in our lives.
I would say, especially the men in our lives. Speaking of men in our lives, I gave my stepdad the Chairman Pro electric foil shaver from Manscaped as an early Christmas present because I'm the best stepdaughter there is. And he really loved it. He said it was one of the smoothest shaves that he's ever had.
And that's because the Chairman Pro has not one but 2 interchangeable skin-safe blade heads. The Chairman Pro is also waterproof, which means the men in your life can use that shaver in the shower, which totally simplifies cleanup.
I never really thought about this when it came to shavers, but the Manscaped Chairman Pro has a 75-minute runtime for a single charge. I never thought about how useful and handy that is to be able to just get that quick shave and go.
The other thing I never thought about is the fact that if you're traveling, those shavers can turn on and run the battery. And the Chairman Pro has a travel lock to make sure it doesn't turn on while he's traveling.
So at this point, the man in your life really has no reason to not have a nice trim beard this winter because you can gift your man the ultimate grooming experience by Manscaped and get him the Chairman Pro package for the holidays.
It's a thoughtful and practical gift that he'll actually use and love. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code BOOKTALK. That's BOOKTALK at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code BOOKTALK. BOOKTALK at manscaped.com.
So what I appreciate with this book, especially when you go into the romantasy genre, you do not have the main male romantic lead.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that she does a good enough job that I was like, I never thought that it was truly Midas.
Oh yeah, I was never convinced that it was Midas.
Yeah, like so I wasn't sitting here being like, well, maybe Midas will get better. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, where's our shadow, dark, morally gray?
Yeah. Well, but there's also a period where you're like, it could be Sale, like it could be like a Kale
Yeah.
character, right?
Yeah.
And then he gets killed off, and you're like, well, shit. We didn't meet the main love interest in the first book.
Yeah. Which is, again, a risky thing to do for a romantasy. But I think it was still when romantasy wasn't like a hardcore genre because it was like one of the earlier books.
Right. Right. And I mean, and that's almost another reason for you to keep reading. Like, wait, I haven't met the main love interest. I'm okay that none of these men are the real love interest.
Yeah.
But where the fuck is he?
I know. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, she's being kidnapped for the evil army. I guess where this is going.
Yeah, I can see.
But I will say, even with the main male love interest, there's a good plot twist there.
Oh, I'm excited.
I think you're going to really enjoy continuing this series. I'm excited to kind of go back because I want to like re-listen to like get to the latest book. And, you know, I sent Amy, I was at a book event last night and I sent Amy like all the books and it was like a really pretty cover. And I just was like, I really want them. And it's not, and I was trying to be like, why do I like this series so much? And as I'm talking about it with you, I'm like, no, I really do like this series. Even with the first book, it's warming up on me, you know, like I will stick with it that this has no plot. There's no like true plot with this first book. And it is like okay, so we're here now. How did you spend all these words and all these pages to get to just do these simple things? However, very well written, very she does a great job with a lot of these things that, the themes that she does and Arwen's juvenileness and naivety. Oh, I do want to quickly bring up Digby.
Oh, Digby, sweet baby boy Digby.
I want to get a dog and name him Digby.
That's a very cute name. He seems like the father figure she probably never had.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do hope he comes back. I have faith he will come back. But that was really sweet. That was a really sweet. And that's the thing is that there's enough seeds germinating of like what could be good solid relationships that I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I do want to see where these go.
Yeah. What I do enjoy is that once Auren was out of her cage, we really got to see her personality.
Mhm.
We got little hints of it with her digging or teasing Digby and being like, "I want to get you to smile and laugh." Like, "Hey, want to play a
Mhm.
drinking game with me?"
Yeah.
Or, like just all those moments. And even when she's attacked and he like carries her up the stairs
Mhm.
back to her room, I was like, that's really sweet.
It is very sweet.
But I do like that it did take that long to kind of see her personality a little bit more. And I'm reflecting on the first time I read it, and Auren says to herself, like in her own narration, she was like, "I'm hilarious."
It sounded a lot like you in my brain.
Yeah, I was like, why did I not like that the first time? Because I am now someone who very much will confidently be like, "I'm hilarious." Like, it
If
is
you
great time in my head.
Yeah.
And I think that that speaks to a level of confidence that you do
Yeah.
have to have. I mean, real fast, I wanna finish that quote, which is like, "I'm hilarious." You have to be when you have no one to talk to and you're just alone all the time. I was like, reading it back now, I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's funny." And I really do think that the first time I read this, I was a lot more insecure in myself.
Mhm, mhm.
And someone might be like, "Jack, you're 35 now, and this was written in 2020. You were that insecure that old? Yeah, okay. It's hard."
I think a lot of people struggle with insecurity, and there are a lot of people who could be 70 years old and still
Yeah.
very insecure.
And I really think that this book kind of like made me handle some of my initial insecurities. And I think that's no, I'm not going to say, I know that that's probably why I didn't like
Mm.
Arwen at first, is because, she was able to confidently say, "I'm hilarious." She was able to confidently say, "Yeah, I'm hot,
Mhm.
gorgeous." And she was able to confidently say of, "I'm weak, I don't work out." You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, there's a level of confidence to her even when she is not a confident individual.
Yeah, well, and I think it's also self-awareness, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I can see having read this book, having heard I was like, "Yep, this is a Jack. This is a Jack. This is a Jack." I could see how being confronted at a time in your life with something you want to be or something you wish you could accept about yourself
yeah,
being really difficult.
yeah. I love this idea though, like, I was like, "Oh, wait, hold on, you said something." I'm like, "I think it's genius, Amy. Let's go into that." The concept of self-awareness versus confidence.
Mhm, mhm.
I think that she has great self-awareness, and that doesn't necessarily lead immediately to confidence. I think that's what it gets you to confidence.
Yeah, yeah,
But I think that just where I'm like, "Holy shit, yeah, like, this book, she's very self-aware,
yeah.
but not self-aware at all." Like, she's
Right.
gaining self-awareness because, like, she's very self-aware, and that's, like, another really good thing as her being an unreliable narrator where she's tricking us because 'cause you're like, she kinda knows that she abuses alcohol. She knows she doesn't work
Mhm,
out. She knows
mhm.
that she's funny and she's pretty, right? She knows these things about her, and you're like you get into this false sense of security as a reader thinking, "Oh, okay, so whatever she says is true because
Yeah,
she's saying
because
these
she's
following things."
honest.
Yeah, she's very honest,
Yeah,
and you wouldn't expect her to lie to the reader
right.
because she doesn't lie to the reader. I think she is as honest as she is to the reader because she's lying to herself.
Exactly. Exactly. She obfuscates some of the nuances because she's unwilling to examine those nuances, because she's unwilling to examine the ways in which she was groomed by Midas, right?
Yeah, that would be a difficult thing to confront.
You have to be at some level of denial if you're willing to trap yourself in a cage for 10 years.
Yeah. To just flat out think, okay, I like this is my home now. This is where I live and
Yep.
this is me being safe. And even as she misses the outside world, it's still her thinking I'm safe.
Yep. 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 And so I will say, I think this is a great example of an unreliable narrator in a way that is more overt than maybe Favor was in A
Yeah.
Court of Thorns and Roses.
Yeah. I agree. But it does make me like her more. As someone who's now older, wiser, I do appreciate her a lot more, and I can see the parts that that I relate to. And
Mhm.
now that I am older, wiser, and like those things about myself, and confidently able to say that, I like her and appreciate her more being able to say that.
Yeah.
And maybe we all just take a look at ourselves, listener. I don't know. It's
Oh gosh. Got really
well,
attacked.
there's ever someone's like in their car having some kind of existential crisis right now.
They're like, "Damn it, I'm on my way to work. This is
Yeah, why
supposed to
am
be
I
a safe
crying?
space."
Why am I crying right now? Yeah, that's hilarious. But this is also like me hyping myself up because I'm going to a speed dating event after this,
I'm very excited for you. I cannot wait to hear about it.
and I'm gonna walk in saying, "I am funny. I am
And
self-aware.
pretty.
I'm pretty." Oh,
and
last night
I'm weak. No, I'm just kidding.
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Wow. When both of us are over our colds, Amy, you just doomed yourself.
Oh man.
You doomed
Damn it.
yourself to
I
some
know.
gym.
Well, it's okay. I met with a nutritionist yesterday and she's like, walking is not exercise. You need to be exercising. I
Ouch,
was like,
rude.
oh,
Hey,
okay.
everyone else says walking's exercise.
I'm not even walking, so what do
Oh, no.
I care?
The confession, I'm not even walking. This is my truth.
I'm self-aware.
I do walk. I walk. Go on sad girl walks. Randall goes to most sad girl walks now,
I love that for him.
and he knows that like I won't change the name of them.
Yeah. He's a sad girl on the inside.
He is a sad girl on the inside. I can't wait to tell him that. No, I'll just get a little clip of this and send it to him. If our friends wanted to know the shit we say about them, they'd listen and support us
They
better.
would listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
Because
Totally.
then we would self-edit more.
I know, it's so true. I feel the same way with my mom. Sometimes she'll be like, "Did you say this?" Because there was like this one listener when she lived in California who, shout out Jackie, she would go and tell my mom some of the things I say, and I was like, "Dude, don't narc on me." Now she's in Kentucky. Haha. Our demo's real low there.
Jackie's like, fine, I will start Instagram messaging your mother.
Sending her DMs. On this week's episode, she was talking trash about how you don't listen to her talking trash. That's hilarious. This has nothing to do with anything, but like last night at the book event, there was I'm looking at the books, I'm talking to people, I'm in my element. And this sweet 18-something-year-old with her mom comes up to me, or they're walking past, and she looks at me, she's like, "You're really pretty," and walks away. And I wanted to hold her face between my hands and just say, "Sweet child, do you know how long I'm going to carry this with me?"
I'm going to think about this every day when I get ready.
Genuinely, I'm going to hold your face in my hand and just think, you child. random child who just 18-year-old who walked past and just said, you're really pretty. Whoa, you do not know what you did. I am funny. I had a random stranger tell me I'm pretty, and I'm weak. I own my shit.
Own your shit today.
And so, listener, that is today's lesson, is to own your shit today and be proud of it, even when you're weak and don't walk. If you don't walk, that's okay. Neither does Amy.
I did have a dream where I won multiple arm wrestling contest. Yes.
I refuse to arm wrestle because I've seen so many videos. I mean, that's a lie. I've heard of so many videos, refuse to watch them, of people breaking their arm while arm wrestling.
Ooh, no.
I'm not about. I already, like, this arm is already broken. I can't do anything. It's forever perpetually broken. I can't sacrifice my right arm.
Nope.
For the sake. Okay, so we're going to have to go back to the gym. That's the...
Yes, I know. We are.
Wow. I felt good. I was thinking, oh, cool. We're ending this on a really fun note. I'm going to walk away. Nope. We're ending this on a back to the gym.
Yep.
All right,
that's
everyone.
Exactly right.
The winter book club / gym book club. Let's all listen to this while we're at the gym together.
We're going to be down bad crying at the gym.
Together. I love that none of this is about looking better. None of this is about losing weight. This is truly about, I know I need to be down bad at the gym. I just want to cry at the gym.
You know what? The lesson is, if you want to save yourself and your girlfriends, you need to get strong. That's what we learned today.
Save me. Get strong. Get on it. I am but a flower. Let me be a delicate princess. Go save me. I think we all learned a lot today. So
I think we did too.
On that note, let's sign off. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Book Talk for Book Talk with Jack and Amy. We encourage you to rate and subscribe to our show on your preferred podcast listening platform. Next week, we'll be discussing Trial of the Sun Queen by Nisha J. Tooley.
We would love to hear your thoughts based on today's conversation. If you'd like to submit your take on any of the books we plan to discuss later this summer, please be sure to follow us on Instagram, where we ask for listener thoughts and submissions.
If you're enjoying the podcast, please visit our website, booktalkforbooktalk.com, to view our latest merch and learn about supporting the show through Patreon or Venmo. You can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube at the handle Book Talk for Book Talk.
Bye.
I have you right below the camera, so it looks like I'm
looking at the script right now.
Oh, okay. No, walk away from the script. We're freeballing this.
Okay. Damn it.
We're men and we don't have shorts on. We're naked of the balls.
Okay. Is that better?
Yeah.